about the greatest inflection point in technological history. This might seem like an ambitious statement. It is an ambitious statement, but I'm going to show you some of the inflection points that I consider very interesting to me. Some of them technology-wise, some of them human. And then I'm going to show you what I consider the greatest inflection point in technological history. First, let's start by defining what is an inflection point. In math, an inflection point is a point in a curvature where the curvature changes direction. In business, it's something different. In business, it's a game changer. It's a point in time where the game changes, and big companies that were not quick enough to adapt to the inflection point become smaller companies or go bankrupt, and small companies that created the inflection point or adapted to this inflection point become big companies. We see this time over time in the technology sector. There's actually a study from Yale University that says that the average lifespan of a company has gone from 65 years to 15 years. Kodak, a month after Kodak went bankrupt, Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. And Instagram had only 13 employees at the time. So now I'm going to show you some of my favorite inflection points in human history. And the first one is fire. This might not seem like much if we look at our technology today, but this was something amazing. The guy on the right, this is a funny picture, but he was the Steve Jobs of his time. He created something that changed his life forever. It changed the life of the people around him forever. It changed the course of humanity. Because humans could eat food that they previously couldn't eat because they could cook it. They could fight off predators. They could migrate to places where they had never been before. Does anybody know what this is? There's some engineers in the audience, and I'm sure that this made your lives miserable for a couple of years. I know it made my life miserable. Nobody? This is a shy crowd. This is the first transistor in history. I know it's not very nice, and now they're a lot smaller, but this was the first one. This was invented at Bell Labs, and the guy in the middle, William Shockley, won the Nobel Prize in physics for this invention. You might not know what this does, what a transistor does, but it impacts your life, for sure. It's in your iPhone, it's in your car, it's in your laptop, it's in your toaster, maybe. It's changed the course of technology forever. It's one of the greatest inflection points in technology history. Does anybody know who this guy is? This guy was invited by Steve Jobs to be the president of Apple Computer in the 1980s. So he has to be somebody special. His name is Don Eskridge, and he worked for IBM in the 1980s, and he invented the first personal computer with off-the-shelf parts. And he outsourced his software to this little company called Microsoft. And he might regret this decision in retrospect, but it doesn't take away the value of what he accomplished. He democratized computing. He democratized mobility. He democratized the internet. He democratized everything that came after that. He created an industry that created companies like Google, like Facebook, like Twitter. And this brings me to what I consider the greatest inflection point in technological history. And that is the Internet of Things, the Internet of Everything. So first, let's start by talking about what is the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things tells us that only 10% of everything that could be connected to the Internet is actually connected to the Internet. So there's 90% of things that are not connected to the Internet and that we can connect to the Internet. Like, for example, your car. Well, actually, there are a lot of cars that are already connected to the Internet. But there are other things. Your toaster, your refrigerator, you. And although that might seem scary, you're already connected to the Internet through your mobile phone. But this gives us raw data. Right? And you can get raw data from other sources also. The public internet, for example, Facebook, Twitter. There are a lot of things that appear on Twitter before they appear on CNN and BBC. You have your business internet, things that you get out of your work. You have the mobile internet, where you could actually apply on your mobile device and tell your mobile device to tell the internet where you are. And this gives you different sources of raw data, including the Internet of Things. And then we have the Internet of Everything, which brings this raw data together. It analyzes this raw data, and it transforms this data into usable data. So you can use raw data in an intelligent city, and this raw data will be transformed into policies, traffic policies, climate policies, pollution policies. And it also creates the possibility to have what we call the concierge internet. So it's an internet bug. And I'm going to give you a very simple example, and it's something that's happened to us all, I think, in time, when you're late to catch a flight. And there's a lot of resources on the internet that you can use that will help you in this situation. Google will tell you that there's traffic on a certain road. The airline company will tell you that your flight is running late. But it won't tell you proactively. And that's what the internet can tell you, the Internet of Everything. You can get into your car, and the Internet of Everything will tell you, don't go on this road, go on this road. The Internet of Everything will tell you, well, you don't have to really speed because your flight is running late. It can tell you, don't park in parking lot A, park in parking lot B, because parking lot B has places for you. And in a nutshell, what the Internet of Everything gives you, and why I consider it's the possibility, it's the greatest inflection point in technological history, is the possibility to connect the world one thing at a time.